Rolling.
It's crazy how instantly it's like.
Ready? Alright. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is our second vlog. I'm Cody.
And I'm Derek.
And we're going to just talk to you about how things are coming along.
Yeah, so I guess the first thing is, one thing is getting together is kind of, obviously it takes a lot of time out of our schedules. So it really comes at not an ease, but we are pushing through doing this. So this is kind of just to document our struggles and what we're dealing with now. Even though we've just recently started doing this, I think one of the main things is some things that we were trying to cover tonight were, establishing a YouTube channel, finding a name. Something funny?
Yeah, for another time. Yeah, so yeah, the name, we were kind of struggling with that. We came up with a few good ideas that
have already used. So, if you're viewing this right now, which would be pretty cool, more than likely we have figured out a name, because we will figure that out by the end of tonight. Likewise, this is something that we're just putting together to make sure we stay on our game and continue to push ourselves, getting on camera, no matter what role we play in the production of our channel and our videos for the future. It's mostly just us trying to make sure that we are, in fact, getting on camera. And that's kind of a big thing for us to get past the nerves and to do this and to storyboard and make videos and do something bigger. So I guess something we can talk about is our struggles and the things that as people who are trying to better ourselves in the creative void, that's something we can talk about. So what do you think are some of the biggest struggles we've faced so far?
Our major struggles have been when we start coming up with a story, we instantly jump to in-depth. Like, we'll go deep. And the deeper we go, the more plot holes come about.
Yeah, that's
sometimes we struggle fixing those.
If you need plot holes in your movie or your short or even just your short story, we can more than likely create about 100 of them.
Yeah.
That's definitely a big deal. We get a little too in-depth. I think it's not exactly a bad thing. It just means that we are kind of overbearing in the creative process, and the practical act of actually making it is going to be the struggle because,
yes,
it's easy for us to make the idea.
And one thing about it is, the reason we come to so many plot holes is because we are trying to make an in-depth story, make things that actually mean something within the story. And we also don't want to just forget about the plot holes and make a story where you guys are like, this is terrible, obviously this is impossible, or it doesn't make sense. We want to make it as near perfect as we possibly can.
Which obviously is a giant stretch for people who are just starting out in this industry, but I think as people who write stories and write music and write a lot of things, it just comes that this is something where you have to break it down into a lot of simplistic ideas, scenes. And a scene is something where you just start off with it and then you build from it right there, whereas if I'm writing, I can just write and write and write and make it as deep as I want to. And it can just mean everything because I can just write it, but it's a lot more difficult to do this. So that is definitely something that we have to work on, is making a story make sense, but keeping it kind of simple in the sense that it isn't filled with plot holes, and we're not trying to add 100 things to make one scene work, which is kind of something.
Yeah,
we've been talking a lot about a story that we are working on, and we're putting a lot of time into it, and it seems like the more time we put in, we get great ideas, and then we find more plot holes, and our feet are just always in them. So that's definitely something that we are struggling with right now, but I think it comes with all creative process.
Yeah, and another thing that is a reason of that is because, and this is something that if you're going to write too, you need to think about, when we write, we obviously know what each other needs. We know the route we want to take, but you have to think of your audience and how if they're going to understand it. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind, and because of that, obviously a lot of plot holes come about from that. So that's why you have to work through all those. But again, think about your audience and think about if they are going to understand what you make, because that's something that I think we're actually doing pretty good at.
Yeah.
I feel like we are keeping that in mind.
Well, the thing is, right now, we are speaking to this camera in hopes that we gain an audience. So if you are watching this as an audience, then it means that we have gained something, which is why we're thinking about it, because it is difficult to think of your audience when you don't have one. Obviously,
Yeah.
we don't have people who are looking forward to this yet, and that's something that it has to be something that we can make sure that people will enjoy, even if we don't set our goals that we have 1 million people watching it. The people who do watch it need to enjoy it, because if we just make it for ourselves, then that's all we've really done. And I don't think our goal is to have 1 million followers or really do anything like that. It's more for ourselves.
Yeah.
It truly is. But along the way, we'd like to do something with it. We'd like to become something, become good at this, and have potentially people who are actually interested in watching it.
And everything we do, we keep in mind that there could be a potential chance one day that a lot of people are viewing it. And that's something that we also have been really trying to focus on.
Yeah.
Is not getting, like you kind of mentioned, is not getting too lost into just, well, this is just for us, so it doesn't matter. Because it does matter. So
That's also the thing. I think one thing we drop into is the comedy and the amount of time we can spend talking about one thing. I think it is a good thing to be. We have a pretty good creative process, I think.
Yeah.
I think we have a pretty good creative process. We just pitch ideas over and over again and make jokes and laugh, and it's fun. I think that's what this is supposed to be. It's fun because it doesn't feel like a job. It feels like something that I really want to do.
Right.
I look forward to doing this. And that's something I haven't really experienced in the past couple of years with like work and putting time into something. So it is really nice to have that as something that we're doing. But it does mean that we spend a good 3.5 hours, and after 3.5 hours we have created maybe a couple good solid ideas, but we've also lost ourselves in a ton of holes and things that they're funny and they're fun, but I'm not sure. Maybe this is part of the creative process. Maybe this is what everybody goes through. And I don't know, maybe that is true.
And one thing about us is, like you said, we'll spend hours trying to think of stuff, and then when we're like, okay, let's just call it a day and we'll come back next time. When we say that, that's when our best ideas seem to come to us.
It's the walk away.
Yeah, like we'll be walking out the door and we'll stand there and talk for another hour about like, we should do this, we should do that, or this is a good idea, or this could fix that plot hole. Like it's crazy, but that is where we spend a lot of time as well, is when we're trying to call it a day and come back later. We don't want to call it a day.
Yeah, and I think it does also, one thing that we've run into is that with this, whenever you're making something like this, it feels like there's always a deadline. And when you don't have a deadline, it is really difficult. And I'm sure anybody who does view this would have to agree with that. If this isn't your job, if this is a hobby, if this is something that you just do on the side for fun, I'm a big procrastinator, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just like I am. And it's really tough to say, we need to set goals for ourselves and do these things and get this done and actually do it, because our life does get in the way of those things. Yeah. And that's a big thing for us, is getting that time schedule. So doing things like this is what we're doing, because this is I think more for us. This section, this vlog for now is more for us, because even you or whoever as a viewer watching it can watch it. This is for us to get in front of camera, and this is us to track our progress, because hopefully we will become something. And we want to get there, and we can look back, and even if this is something so childish and mundane, it is what we used to get wherever we are. And this is just, at the end of the day, something we want to do each week, hopefully, a week or 2 weeks, to make sure that we are continuing this and we don't give up on this. Because when you have a life outside of this, it's tough. And I know anybody who watches this is going to say the same thing. It's hard to have a regular job and then go home and spend 3 hours talking about something and then make videos and do this. It is tough, because this is something we're doing for fun. And to do this, it takes time out of whatever we would be doing on seeing other friends or hanging out with our families or whatever it is, So
homework. I'm currently in school, so
I'm not, but doing those things. So that is it does take a lot of time, and I think that's something that maybe we knew but are learning more of now. And that doesn't mean that we're not dedicated to it, because we've definitely become extremely
Yeah.
dedicated. I mean, we spend hours doing this and then hours talking about it, and then
Yeah, like throughout the day, we'll text like all day talking about, you know, we should do this, or we should do this, or we should make a story about, you know, whatever. And I mean, I guess that is also time consuming, but it's fun. Like whatever, if you're at work and you're working hard, and then you think, okay, I have a little spare time, I'm gonna think of another story or a way to go with this story, and it's definitely become time consuming, and we're only in the early stages of it, so I can only imagine how it's going to unravel. But you know, I'm ready for it.
right.
It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I hope anybody who watches this at any point in time, I think a lot of the people who do watch YouTube videos or watch Twitch channels or really watch anything, it really depends on where we go, but you'll have this experience, I think. I think everyone just kind of goes through this.
Yeah.
It's a place that I'm willing to accept you start at. I don't have $1 million camera, and I'm in my garage right now, my parents' garage, and the background is terrible. But, you know, as we said in our first video, and as I say now, this is something we want to improve on. We want to make sure that we have creative people along the way that help us, and, you know, even if it doesn't go somewhere, even if we try and it's still hard, everyone goes through this. And I think if we just persist at it, it's going to be something that we'll do something. I think we will have material that people will like. And I
agree.
I think that
We spend enough time trying to make it in depth that there will be at least some aspect of our videos that some people will enjoy.
And I imagine just the antics you'll get from something like this will be enough. I know things we want to branch out and do. We are working on an idea for a video, a short/long video. It's going to take a while, but we are working on something, and I don't really want to talk about it too much, just because it is something we're working on.
Yeah, pretty early stages.
And we want to work on shorts. So what you can expect on something like this is that we are working on shorts. We are working on clips. We are working on just getting in front of the camera. And they're going to be dumb, and you're going to see the lack of skill for a while. But hopefully that'll change, and hopefully we'll get somewhere that skill does actually develop, and we do work on it. And hopefully you'll see familiar faces, and we'll build relationships, and hopefully build an audience. Hopefully build a viewing base that actually enjoys coming back to watch these videos. And I think honestly we will have enough antics on this, enough mess ups, enough stupid ideas that if we persist at this, it'll be something that there's just going to be something stupid to watch.
Somewhere along the way.
We'll get you lost in our channel at some point.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be it. So just for I think our update here, we're working on a name. We're working on ourselves as creative writers and as documentarists, people who are getting in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Just not actors. I don't want to say actors. We're working on ourselves on camera.
Yeah. And one of our goals, and you might, if you stick with it for the first few videos, we're kind of writing most of our stuff as if we're not going to be in it. We haven't fully decided that yet, but I think it would better suit us. Not that we're afraid to be in it, but I just think that it would be better for us to be in the background, kind of explaining how it should go about.
Yeah.
So
we've definitely come to the conclusion that we're probably better off camera than on camera.
Yeah.
But I mean, it really depends. I think we'll do enough that we'll be able to be on camera and get other people. I mean, these are things just that we're looking forward to, and I think with this, we're just working on ourselves, working on our style and what we want to do, and that's where this is leading. So these vlogs are built just to show our progress, and I apologize if they're long or mundane or whatever, but it's always somewhere where you can check in and see. Where we're coming from.
What are you doing? Did I just interrupt? Sorry.
okay, so
Yeah, I mean,
There was somebody that just peeked
I'm sure
through
you've
the
heard them.
door, and they can't see the camera, so they just
yeah.
see-
Actually, I don't think they noticed that we were actually filming this. So
yeah.
more or less, we
They
were
just
just
think
two
we're sitting here.
creeps in a garage.
Yeah, but
Oops.
that's all right. Progress.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah,
I guess to end this,
yeah,
tune in to watch us grow as a channel.
Yeah.
Tune in to watch us become something, because I know if you look back on any of your favorite YouTubers, if they haven't deleted them, you'll find some videos that I
Yeah.
imagine are like cringeworthy. You know,
yeah. So
real cringeworthy.
definitely just keep. We're gonna keep at the vlogs.
Yeah.
We're gonna, like you said, that once a week. Hopefully,
Yeah,
things have been pretty busy. So
just wait till this is a green screen
yeah,
and it's the two of us, and I think maybe this would be fun because when we get good at this, I can refer back to this moment here, and maybe we will be on a green screen. Maybe we
Yeah.
will be in a studio. Maybe we will be doing something much larger, and that's where we want to be. That's
Yeah.
where we will be. It's not one.
yeah,
we will be.
We will be. It'll take time and it'll take a lot of creativity, but I feel we have it.
Mhm.
So
I think that's pretty good for this one.
Yeah.
And if you are a viewer, if you are watching this, like we'll always say, feel free to comment below. You can tell us how we're doing or what you think or really anything. Not sure how to do this, but subscribe here,
yeah,
right there.
right there.
So we'll figure out how to put that link there so you
Yeah.
can subscribe to us after we get a name and
Yeah,
whatever. Do that stuff.
we're gonna work on the name as soon as this video ends.
Yeah.
So hopefully we have it. Hopefully we have it by then. But
Yeah, so, with that, like and subscribe. Keep with us. I promise we will be good to anybody who treats us
yes,
like normal human beings, like people who are trying to strive to be better.
yeah, we're having fun, but we want to actually make this work.
Yeah, so if you can help us grow, we'd love to hear from you. And we're gonna keep doing these vlogs and working at ourselves, and hopefully we'll be seeing videos soon. Very
Yeah.
soon. Hopefully within the next week to 2 weeks, we'll have something up that you can actually watch. So
Yeah.
I think with that, we're going to sign off. Likewise, I'm Derek,
Cody,
and thanks for viewing.
thank you. See you guys. Just press it.
The red.
You hit the same record.